I didn't pick Kimmy for driver of the year.
No?
No.
Who did you pick?
I picked. Welcome to the Family First Summer Break Special. This is our mid-season awards episode.
Yay.
This is our very first time ever doing mid-season awards because it's our very first time we've ever done this mid-season.
Or ever, like, you know.
I mean, we're 11 races in right now. We're pros. We're podcasting pros now.
First season, though. So, of
First
course, it's our first mid-season awards.
It's our first mid-season awards, 2026. I am very excited to hear what you have to say about these different categories. We didn't talk to each other ahead of time, which is going to be super cool. I am not excited, having gone through the last weekend, specifically last Saturday with no qualies.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed about that. I had to post a sad face on one of our social media pages because it was the first weekend getting through, because we had a little stretch there with a couple of races and we started getting used to like,
we're momentum.
Yeah. I mean, the beginning of the season was rough, right? We had the 3 and then that unexpected spring break, I guess they called it.
Right.
And then I think it was like Miami and then a break in Canada and then a break. And then where did we go after Canada? Monaco. Anyway, it was just a bunch of breaks and it was getting to be like almost exhausting not having the racing. Although I will say having all the races compressed makes it a lot more difficult for production.
Yes.
As far as our timeline and whatnot. But
busy lives.
Busy lives, couple of vacations this summer, which is why you haven't seen anything after the Hungarian GP recap. We had taken a trip and just got back recently again, but that was our last one for the summer.
Yep.
So we're back in full swing. No more trips for the rest of, at least the rest of the F1 season.
For sure.
As far as we know.
No, for sure.
Okay, no more trips. All right.
All right.
Speaking of trips, let's take a trip down memory lane here and talk about some of these different awards we like to hand out to some of the drivers or teams or whatever, based on our own opinions.
Yeah.
Of absolutely nothing, because we're not experts. We're just F1 fans. Yeah. So this is what we think.
And we'll get to see how much we have in common on this.
I think there's probably going to be some, but I'm interested to see the differences. Yeah. Feel free to comment on any of these categories if you agree or disagree, or what driver or team you think deserves this particular award. That being said, let's get into it with the first category.
All right.
Biggest surprise of the year. What do you think in the first 11 races, aside from the fact that we had 2 races in the Middle East surprisingly canceled?
Right. Besides that, what do you think has been your biggest surprise of the 2026 F1 season so far? Okay.
At the halfway point here.
Yeah. For myself, it was definitely how poorly McLaren started the season and came out of the gate swinging.
Yeah.
That seems a little obvious because obviously coming off the championship.
Yeah.
Everyone has this expectation that they're going to come out hot again.
Well, they were so dominant last year, and they won the Constructors' Championship in 2024 as well. So we're coming off 2 back-to-back seasons of winning the Constructors, but we had a regulation change.
Right.
So that kind of reset everything.
Right. Well, and also they spent so much of their 2025 season ensuring that they kept the momentum going with 2025.
Sure.
Did they delay some of the advancements towards 2026?
I agree.
To focus on finishing 2025 strong, that could have played a role.
Not only for their Constructors' Championship, but Lando was obviously in the fight, not only with Piastri, but also with Max at, later on in the season for the Drivers' Championship. So I imagine they put a decent amount of effort into winning both of those because, we kind of had the discussion earlier, like, oh, what do they care which driver wins the championship? I think there's some, investment there in particular drivers. Yeah. But obviously, as a team, their focus is the Constructors.
Right.
And they were able to accomplish both of those because they did put so much effort on their 2025 season. potentially neglecting the 2026 and kind of starting on the back foot there.
Yeah, potentially. And, because you expect them to come out really strong, it's not just that they didn't come out strong. That's the big surprise.
Yeah.
It was just such a drastic difference. That's what makes
agree.
it the bigger surprise.
I
mean,
agree.
they had 2 races where both drivers didn't even start.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was both drivers, but I know Piastri had the 2 DNSs.
Well,
He had the that wreck in Australia in the recon lap. And then what happened in China? Oh, they both didn't start in China.
Both didn't start in China.
Yeah, man, what a rough start. And I mean, they've obviously come quite a long way. Right, Lando won last race in Hungary, and they were looking pretty stout, I think, as a team.
Right.
Up until Piastri had that gearbox failure.
Right.
In Hungary. Yeah, I mean,
that's just been a recent turnaround, though, for them.
For sure. For sure, yeah. Lando did have a good run in Miami. He was kind of battling Kimi for the win there in Miami. But, Piastri hasn't looked quite as strong this year.
No.
And just, you're right, in general, the team, not the dominant powerhouse like they were last year in 2025.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I think it's great, too, because while I totally agree with you, that's not my biggest surprise, and I didn't think of that. So I think that's pretty cool, too.
Well, what's your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise of the 2026 season is Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
He made the switch to Ferrari in 2025 and did not have a good year.
No.
I don't remember if he even made a podium in 2025.
I don't think he did.
He eventually got to the point with his season last year where he was even so frustrated. He was kind of telling the media, he was telling Ferrari, replace the driver, referring to himself. Like, I don't have it anymore.
Right.
Right. Ground effect car era, clearly not suited to his style of driving. We've had this conversation before about, if you're an elite driver, you can overcome. But obviously everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. Through that ground effect era, it was kind of Max that was the more dominant driver, generally speaking, and Lewis, not so much taking the back seat. 2026 has been a different story for Lewis Hamilton, with this 50-50 power unit situation to start the year. He, in general, take away some of these penalties, this guy's starting to pick up, in general, has had a pretty good year. He won in Barcelona. He's been on several podiums. He's qualified well. He's looking like, I don't know if I'm necessarily go far as to say the Lewis of old, but Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton specifically, I think, because Leclerc went through a bit of a slump there for a little while.
Right.
I think Lewis has mentally gotten his mojo back, right? And that's translated to the wheels. And he's driving like a champion again. He's in the fight for some wins. He did get the one, like I said, in Barcelona. And I think it's, as close to a 180-degree turnaround as you can get from the performance that he put up in 2025. And I didn't see it coming. Right. I thought he was he's 40 whatever years old, and he's been in the sport since 2007. And this is a young man's game, except for Fernando Alonso. But he's past his prime. He's done. And that's obviously not the case. He's got a Grand Prix victory this season. And that was shocking to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah. So we got McLaren and Lewis Hamilton for the biggest surprise. Let's keep it moving. Biggest disappointment.
All right.
Now, go ahead. What do you got?
Okay. Well, feeding off of the McLaren, for me, it was very first race of the season. Australia, Oscar Piastri having the wreck on his way to the grid and not starting the race.
Yeah.
That was one of those, oh my gosh, what just happened moments.
First race of the brand new season with the brand new regulations. Nobody really knows what this is going to look like at all as far as who's going to be the dominant team. What are these cars going to look like on track? I obviously know what they look like on track, but what are they going to look like as far as, cornering speeds and downforce and all these different things? We don't know any of this. And then Piastri, who was so close to that driver's championship last year, starts his season with a wreck. And he doesn't even get to participate.
And that's also what added to it being one of the biggest surprises.
Sure.
Biggest disappointment is what we're on now.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's one of the things that led to it being one of the biggest disappointments is I had such high hopes for him last season.
Sure. So did
and
Bradley.
So I automatically started this season feeling the same. And it was his home race.
It was his home race. That is the big disappointment. Wow. I hadn't even thought of that until you just said it. And that makes it an even bigger disappointment, I think.
Right.
Because he was really looking for that win at
sure he
Albert
feels the
Park
same.
there. Yeah. Yeah. Get him next year, Oscar.
Yeah. What about you?
My biggest disappointment, Red Bull.
Yeah. Okay.
What is going on? Somebody, I think it was one of the guys from P1 with Matt and Tommy, had made the prediction at the beginning of the year, prior to the start of Australia, Max Verstappen does not win a race all season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the guy who's the Max fan, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just listening to this like, this guy is crazy. I mean, Max came back from this, 100 and whatever point deficit, almost beat Lando. Red Bull, after they got rid of Christian Horner and Lauren Mekies came in, kind of made that turnaround and did, as opposed to some of the other teams that were focusing on the following year, Red Bull kept their focus on 2025, and it was like unbelievably impressive. Some of the comebacks they were making. Went through a stretch of winning races, not Yuki, obviously, but, Max was the entire team last season. But this year, not only do they have Max, who is one of the greatest drivers in the Formula One history,
right.
They also have Hadjar, who did fantastic at Racing Bulls last season and has, in my opinion, proven himself to be quite possibly the best second seat next to Max that Red Bull has ever seen, potentially. And yet we're not winning races. Right. There's been a couple P2s, given some situations, I think, that happened in the race because of the strategy. Last one, they put Max on the soft tire and decided to keep him out when there was a safety car. So some of those things could have gone different ways. Now, obviously, there's some caveats to that as well. He's had some spins this season, right? The launch in Miami, a couple of, where was it? Austria. He had the spin in qualifying, and there's been a couple of races where he's had some spins. Is that on him or failure, on the car because the rear wing doesn't close, whatever it happens to be? There's a list of reasons. It all boils down to we're not winning races.
Right.
Red Bull, given this a duo thing, the ADUO, has been given the award of the best internal combustion engine, and we're still not winning races. Right. So obviously the aero package, the chassis is not up to par. And that's been the biggest disappointment for me, not only as a Red Bull fan, but watching Red Bull in seasons past, right? I'm expecting dominance this year.
Right.
And obviously, given the performance in Bahrain and Barcelona in the preseason testing, it was kind of like, well, that ain't going to happen. But Max somehow is always able to pull it out of his sleeve, pull it out of his hat, whatever happens to be. And I'm just not seeing that. Give or take a couple of one-offs, I'm just not seeing it. I do think they will get there. I do think they have two very qualified drivers, but how are we number 4 in the drivers this far into the season? Or, I'm sorry, in the constructors this far into the season.
Yeah, well, and I think you said it. They did spend their end of 2025 focusing on finishing 2025 strong and trying to keep Max competing for the championship.
I agree, yeah, and I don't disagree with that decision.
No.
And I've mentioned this a couple of times. Mekies at the reveal preseason said, it's going to be a rough start. Bear with us. Okay, cool, man. We've been bearing with you.
Yeah.
Let's start winning some races now. You know what I mean? Like, it's time.
Well, and it's interesting too, because I feel like that was in reference to the fact that they had a new power unit with Ford and there was this new partnership.
Yes.
And that's the part that's actually working.
That's the best one. Yeah. Yeah. Big disappointment to me as far as their development. Formula One is the drivers are racing each other, but in general, it is a development race, the teams. And to me, Red Bull's got some work to do. They lost a lot of key players in their, the people that were responsible for their dominant years, right? When Max was winning all those championships, most of those people are gone.
Right.
A few more yet still to depart, right? GP and Lord knows what's happening with Hannah Schmitz. But they don't have Adrian Newey anymore. They don't, some of these engineers, I think you mentioned in one of the previous episodes that they've kind of brought in some people that are aerodynamic specialists, but they don't have the background in motorsport necessarily. Right. So that could potentially be hindering some of their, performance woes and whatnot. So Yeah, Red Bull for me.
All right.
Yeah. Let's keep it going here. Next category we have up on the board is the best overtake. I'm very nervous that we're going to have no conversation because you're going to say something and be like, yep, absolutely that one. All right, go.
It's got to be the last race.
Max and Hungary.
Yeah.
Getting around
with
Lewis
Hamilton.
on the outside there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mine as well. I thought that was awesome. He came from nowhere.
Right.
Somehow was able to.
Well, he got around Lawson.
Yes.
So it wasn't expected because like he's further behind in the traffic and it's just like out of nowhere. He gets around Lawson and then bam, ready to go on
lunge,
Lewis. And
yeah, it was awesome.
He approached it faster. He, did his braking late.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say is it was so, not only did he do all that, but he kept it all under control, right? There was no lockup. There was no spin. There was no, it was just a beautiful overtake that nobody saw coming, I think. And hands down, that's got to be the best one for
Lewis.
me. Lewis didn't see it coming either, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Probably most importantly. And man, what does that do to Lewis, right? Mentally, like, God, it's Max. And I would say the runner-up for me was Max again, but in Spa on that first lap. Approaching Radionen into Eau Rouge, where he was able to get around Kimi. Now, Kimi got him back very quickly after that, but it was a pretty solid overtake. And, there's a lot of information that we as the viewers are not getting now from the cars, right? We don't see the onboards. We don't see the deployment and recharge, right? So we don't know how many of these overtakes are because of driver skill, full battery, or maybe somebody is just crazy super clipping and they just don't have the battery power to keep up with the aggressor, right? So they don't have the battery power to defend. That's become another variable in how Formula One works this season, right? The reliance on this battery power. Right. So overtaking in general kind of has a little bit of an asterisk by it in some cases. It seems to me, given those two scenarios, that they were not a situation where the driver that got overtaken that happened because they were just out of battery. You know what I mean?
Right. And in this particular case, that's just another reason that it's impressive is because he managed his battery well enough to be able to do it.
Right.
And I don't think that Lewis was out of gas at that point.
Right.
He just didn't think it was going to happen.
No, he did not defend that well.
No.
Given his abilities.
Right.
I don't think, that was one that got away from him. I bet he wished he had that one back.
Right.
Yeah.
And most of Max's overtakes, I think, are pretty impressive.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Yeah. You can always expect at least one, I think, from Max, The races where, I want to say it was Australia, first race of the season, where he had that spin in qualifying and he started P20 and made his way back up to P6, right? Exactly. There's a ton of overtaking there, but a lot of that is, top of the grid car battling the midfield, right? And Carlos Sainz kind of said that, he can do whatever he wants because he's battling the midfield, and
right.
Well, yeah, he kind of can, obviously within the regs, but he's going to get by you. Same way Hadjar did. Where was that? Where he started P21.
Yeah, I don't remember which race, but 6. He did a great job too.
Spa. Anyway, so that's the one that I had expected us to agree on.
All right,
the best overtake, but since there's not much more to say,
I think most F1 fans would agree with us on that one.
That was pretty awesome.
It was voted overtake of the month, for a reason, right.
Yeah, so. There were plenty of them for July too, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. It's probably because it was the month where we had actual racing as opposed to April. What's next? What do we have here? Most improved driver.
Okay,
I'm very, very curious to hear what you have to say about this one.
Okay, well, for you already spoke about this at the beginning of the episode.
Did I steal your thunder?
A little bit.
I
So there's really
apologize.
not going to be much to say, but it's Hamilton.
That just shows we didn't talk about this ahead of time because I didn't know you were going to do that.
So for me, it's Hamilton, and mainly it's because he came off such a bad year.
Yeah.
That I was not expecting the turnaround.
So you would say it was a big surprise?
Right.
Yeah.
That's where you placed it.
That's where I placed it. Yeah.
But I saved it for most improved driver.
I'm so glad because this would have been a whole lot more boring if we'd have just agreed on everything.
And so, yeah, I mean, like you said, I think it's just clicking for him this year. He's had like this mental turnaround.
Yeah.
And, he's number 2 in the...
He's number 2 in the drivers.
Right.
Now,
I mean, that's proof right there.
50 points, I think, behind Kimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you already made a lot of points. I don't need to keep going, but...
You can if you'd like.
Fine. No. You basically said everything that I would have said.
Maybe somebody jumped in at this point and they're just... I can be a bit wordy sometimes.
What about you?
Most improved. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Liam Lawson.
Okay.
This year. He had, I think, mentally, emotionally, potentially one of the most difficult seasons a driver can have in 2025. He started the year with Red Bull.
That's true. Okay.
They gave him 2 races.
Yeah.
Kicked him down to the junior team in place of Yuki Tsunoda. Right?
It's like an extra blow.
Yeah, that's a punch in the face. And, I just think he has found a way to adapt and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And he is, I love Arvid Lindblad. I'm a big fan and I'm excited to see that guy's career. But
yeah, I mean, I would have said that Arvid was Rookie of the Year, except he's the only one. So
there you hear it, folks. Arvid Lindblad, Rookie of the Year, up against.
Anyway, sorry.
No one.
Continue.
Yeah, I love
Liam.
Lindblad, and I think he's a heck of a driver, and I'm excited to see the rest of his career. But Lawson has planted himself firmly in the number 1 driver spot, in my opinion, at Racing Bulls this year.
Right.
And if one of the big boys starts going for, if there's an empty seat somewhere, I wouldn't be surprised to see him on one of the big teams. Is Max going to stay at Red Bull? Does that give Lawson the, I think it's been kind of said that, they moved him from Racing Bulls up to Red Bull too quickly in his career. Right. And that was sort of his second season in Formula One, and he just didn't have the experience. And okay, maybe that's the case. I don't know, but he's shown himself to be quite a competent and talented driver this year. And I think he's going to have a nice long career ahead of him as well. And I expect to see him on a podium, if not winning a race at some point.
Yeah, I can see that, because I would agree that last year my overall thoughts were he's really not that
He's not a great driver. Yeah.
And this year, yes, now that's turned around. I
totally
expect him to perform pretty well each week.
Yeah.
For a Racing Bull.
I do too. Absolutely. And I was kind of going back and forth between Liam Lawson and Colapinto, who didn't score a point at all last year. That's maybe honorable mention. And even Bortoletto is another one that, with that Kick Sauber car last year, it was always at the back of the grid. You could count on those guys. And I don't know if it's Audi coming in and doing what they're doing, but, Bortoletto's gotten some points this year as well, whereas you didn't see that. But to me, the biggest gain between the 3 of those guys is Lawson. And, I put Lawson on my fantasy team sometimes because you can count on him.
He stays on mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's my most improved driver.
All right.
I don't know if that's necessarily most improved from the start of this season.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah. Okay.
But I think he's up there.
Yeah. All right.
Biggest what if? You have this grin on your face. Are we going to agree on this one?
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Go.
Or if you didn't think of it, you'll say, oh, that was a good one.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's hear it.
All right. For me, the biggest what if is how the race results for Great Britain would have played out if Max had not had his spin out and Kimi did not have his wheel shield issue.
Yeah.
Because going into that, so before those issues happened, you had Leclerc in first, Kimi in second, Max in third. with Russell and Lewis behind. And then
That's Leclerc won that race, right? This is Silverstone.
Yes.
Okay.
So then Max has his rear wing issue, loses his downforce, spins out of the race, DNF, right? And right around that time, shortly after, Kimi had all of those pit stops because they couldn't figure out what was going on with the car, whether it was a puncture or, but he just,
right. And he ended up
dropped
finishing
all the way. Well, he dropped to 16th, but then someone had a penalty or something that got applied after the race. And so ultimately he finished 15th.
P15, right? Yeah.
But I mean, he was up in second before all that took place. So
what if
they had both finished, because Max was also on pace, I think, to potentially take Kimi, or maybe it was Kimi was on pace to take Leclerc, one of those two situations.
Yeah.
But either way,
Kimi was chasing down Leclerc and he was going to get him.
Right.
He was going to get him. His pace was seconds faster.
Yes.
That's
so
right.
the biggest what if for me is how the podium would have looked had those two events not taken place.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. It was so close to the end of the race.
Yeah.
So.
Do you remember what the podium was in Silverstone?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton.
Yeah.
It wiped out second and third, and everyone else fell in line.
So then maybe we have Kimi and Max on the podium as opposed to Leclerc.
And it could have been.
It
could have been Kimi first, then Leclerc, then Max.
I think it would have been Kimi first. Yeah, I think Kimi would have passed Leclerc.
So maybe it's not so much of a what if, because we can kind of expect what the results would have been. But
you took the what if as something that already happened. What if something already happened had happened differently?
All right. Well, it is mid-season awards. It's not like some future prediction, but that's okay if that's what you have lined up, ready to go.
Well, I'm just thinking, what if Max does decide he can't take it at Red Bull anymore?
Oh.
Not only does that change Red Bull as a team, I think that changes Formula One in general, because there is that potential that, Toto has said, no, I have George and Kimi. And Zach Brown has said, no, I have Lando and Oscar, right? Obviously Ferrari's locked down.
Right.
Where else is he going to go? If he doesn't stay at Red Bull, there's no other seats anywhere.
Right.
So does he just say, no, I've had enough, I'm out of Formula One? I think it would be temporarily, because he's got a yacht and a jet and it's the highest paying gig out there. However, if he does leave the sport, what does that do for Formula One in general? There's so many people that, he's got his own theme song.
Yeah.
Right? Who else has all that, right? Yeah, of course, Lewis Hamilton is definitely a draw. But I think that changes the sport in general. Lando has garnered quite the fan base over the past couple of years. But you got the Orange Army out there. Like it's a whole thing with Max. And I just wonder, for me, I took a liking to the sport because of Drive to Survive, but I found a love for it watching Max specifically. And for me, I don't know that I would have that for another driver. And there's a drastic amount of people that have that for Max, right? Same as Lewis, same as, Lando now.
Right.
And same as I think Kimi will have at some point, if he doesn't already. He's probably a champion in the making, but Max is already a 4-time champ, and I don't know what this sport, or even Red Bull for that matter, looks like if he's not in it in some form or fashion. So I think that's my biggest what if. What if Max leaves? Because there's been so much talk about that this year. And I don't know if I mean leaves Red Bull or leaves Formula One, but
or and leave mid-season, or
there is that potential.
I don't think he would do that.
I don't think so either, but everybody likes to take the pictures that show up during summer break where, Kimi and Toto are on the same yacht, or Max is hanging out with Toto on a yacht somewhere in Italy, and Max and Toto are talking. That means Max is definitely leaving Red Bull, or, GP's going to McLaren, and so Max is going to follow him. And, there's all this speculation. And do I legitimately think he's going to do something mid-season? No.
I don't either.
But what if?
Okay. That was the question.
That is the question. All right. There's no answer to that question now. We don't know.
We're both right.
That's right.
We can both be right.
Because you can't go back and redo Silverstone.
Nope.
And we don't know what Max is going to do.
Yep.
So it's lots of fun to speculate.
Yep.
All that being said, we got 2 more
Okay.
categories.
2 more awards to give out.
2 more awards to give out. The family first superlatives, you might call it. I don't think this is superlatives. Some of them are.
Yeah, a little bit.
Driver of the year.
Okay.
Driver of the half year.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it could change.
It could change. What are we at? 50-point deficit right now between 1 and 2. 59 points from 1 to 3 in the drivers' championship. That's 2 GPs right there.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
could happen. And we did 11. So we have 12 more to go since they added Bahrain back at Sepang in Malaysia. Yeah. Driver of the year. What you got?
I mean, this isn't going to be exciting at all. He's leading the championship.
I think everybody, yeah. Everybody's going to
Antonelli,
say the same
right?
thing. Yeah,
Like,
Kimi. Yeah.
He's doing great. There's nothing to say. It speaks for itself.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yes. You're absolutely right. There is nothing to say about Kimi. He has put on a performance I think no one expected. You could probably put that in one of the biggest surprise category. Kimi, given what he was doing last year, one podium last year, maybe 2.
maybe, yeah.
But definitely finishing out of the points a lot. Rookie season. Toto, very smart man, knows what he's doing. Kimi has come to prove him right. There's nothing to say. If you follow Formula One at all, or if you're not living under a rock, you've heard the name Kimi Antonelli. There's people that come up to me at work when they see me wearing my shirts and they're like, oh, who's the 19-year-old kid that's winning all the races? You know what I mean? Like, the whole world knows about Kimi. So does he deserve driver of the year? Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And he might just be it by the end of the season.
I didn't pick Kimi for driver of the year.
No?
No.
Who did you pick?
I picked Hadjar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really, really impressed me. He did the 1 year at Racing Bulls, clearly impressed the people at Red Bull. They brought him up to the big team. He has qualified in Q3 every race this season.
Okay. All right.
Nobody else has done that sitting next to Max Verstappen. As a matter of fact, Hadjar has qualified above Max Verstappen on multiple occasions this year. They have the same car, right? Yeah, okay, Kimi's had a great year. Mercedes has given Kimi the best car, although George isn't utilizing it to the same fashion that Kimi is. That could have been the biggest disappointment, right? George Russell. Yeah. But to me, Hadjar is just done some things for a guy in also his second year, same as Kimi, that are unbelievably impressive. And, Red Bull's car was the biggest disappointment to me. True. And so I wonder if they had a car comparable to maybe what McLaren had in Hungary or what Mercedes has had all year.
Okay.
Would it be Red Bull 1-2? Max and Hadjar up there. He's qualified in Q3 every race this season. He's won some points. If it wasn't for the, speeding in the pit lane fiasco in Monaco, he may have been on the podium.
Third, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I think if you take all of that and given what Red Bull has produced this year, hands down for me, it's Isaac Hadjar. Although I am not blind to what Kimi is accomplishing, I just think they're coming from 2 different places. Yeah,
no, and I can see it, right? I think there's an argument to be made for Hadjar. The aid that he's been able to provide Max.
Oh yeah, with the toe, right? And the qualifying. Yeah. It's he's intelligent too. Yeah. He knows how to do that kind of stuff full well knowing that he's got that penalty and okay, let me do what I can to help my teammate, right? How much of that came from the team? How much of it is him just being an astute driver? Yeah. I think the guy deserves a lot of accolades.
And the fact that in spite of a car that's underperforming, he is still able to do that well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm a big fan. Again, I'm excited to watch his career as well. I think because it's blatantly obvious that Max isn't going to be at Red Bull or even in Formula One.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to pull an Alonso. So
Max?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either. The only person that can pull an Alonso is Alonso. Although Hamilton's getting up there too. But I think at some point when Max decides to depart, Hadjar could fill that number 1 driver role at Red Bull.
All right.
Provided they don't get Piastri. So Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of speculation on what's going on with McLaren as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy watching Hadjar this year, and I'm happy to see 2 Red Bulls in the points simultaneously. You know what I mean? On some of these races, which we didn't get last year at all.
Did not get that last year
with Yuki. So Hadjar's my dude.
All right.
I mean, Max is my dude, but
I understood.
Yeah. All right. I guess
Goes
that brings
without
us.
saying.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously. Have I mentioned that I like Max for 7? Brings us down to our very last category of the episode: Team of the Year. Okay. Who's going to win the constructors? No, that's not what this is.
No.
That's who we think
exactly
is the best team of the year.
Yeah.
Man, now I'm really scared. We're going to say the same thing too, although that hasn't really been too much of an issue in this episode. So, all right. Team of the year, what you got?
All right. Well, I'm sure everyone would expect me to say Mercedes.
I think, yeah.
But I am not
going
to go with Mercedes.
All right.
Okay. I'm going Ferrari.
Okay.
You did not expect that.
No.
And I assume that's not your answer.
No,
then.
it's not. Please explain. Thank God it's not mine because, yeah.
So, Mercedes would be the obvious because they're leading the constructors right now. And they came out with a car that was so great. And they've been winning all these races. And, Kimi's at the top of the championship right now for the drivers in their car.
Yeah.
But they came out swinging and they've kind of plateaued. I'm not seeing a ton.
You're talking about Mercedes.
Mercedes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving the reasons why.
Okay.
It's not Mercedes.
Why it's not
because
Mercedes.
it plays into why Ferrari is.
Okay.
So they've kind of plateaued. They're not really bringing a whole lot in terms of development. Other teams have started to catch up to them. So Ferrari.
Before you go any farther with that, I just would like to make the point as a sort of a counter to your, other than I think Aston Martin and one other team, Mercedes has brought the fewest number of upgrades and still been dominant.
Yeah.
So potentially they're just kind of sitting, waiting for, okay, now somebody's catching us. Now we're going to drop all these upgrades.
Potentially.
Okay.
Okay. But as of the mid-season awards.
Since it's our mid-season awards. Fair enough. Yeah. We get to...
I'm going Ferrari because they have vastly improved. Okay. They brought the Macarena wing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they were the first ones to do it.
Yeah. They came up with the cooling system for their brakes with the wheel design.
Yeah.
They've managed their tires better. They keep improving. Okay.
Yeah.
They've got Lewis back winning races and on podiums.
Leclerc won Silverstone.
Their strategy has even started to turn around for me.
Yes, improved. Although they've definitely pulled some Ferraris this season.
They have, but not nearly as bad.
Sure.
Okay. So I feel like it's starting to click, right? Just like it started to click for Hamilton. I think they're getting their mojo back.
Yeah.
And Mercedes is riding on the strength they entered the season with.
Because they didn't bring all the upgrades yet?
Yeah. Yet.
Okay.
I heard it.
Mid-season awards.
Yeah. But I mean, one of the purposes of Formula One is to develop and improve.
Yes.
And bring new
100%.
Engineering, ingenuity, aerodynamics.
Totally. Yep.
And Ferrari's doing that.
Sure.
These are brand new designs that they're pioneering.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So Ferrari's my win.
I love it. I love the fact that even though I don't agree with you, you can back up your claim.
Yes.
So I'll give you that. Do you have a guess who mine is?
Yes.
All right. Do you want me to tell you or do you want to make your guess?
I want to guess.
Oh, you want to guess?
Because that's more fun.
It is more fun.
Alpine.
No.
Oh.
Decent guess. Decent guess. They had their run. No. My team of the year is Racing Bulls.
Okay. All right.
They have proven themselves as best of the rest. They have 2 drivers consistently in the points. As a matter of fact, they have had at least 1 driver in the points every single race this season except for Miami. And if you remember, Liam Lawson had that crash with Pierre Gasly in Miami, which took him out of the race. Lindblad went through a little slump there,
Right.
so he didn't finish in the points. But every other race this season, they've had at least one of their drivers in the points, and multiple races with 2 drivers in the points. Now let's play that out. You have your big 4, 8 drivers. There's only 2 spots left
Right.
for points finishes, right? And you take out DNFs and all that could potentially happen. They're up there,
Okay.
right? They brought that one big upgrade in, I think it was Spa, that Lindblad got.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. He finished in the points. Then they gave the upgrade to Lawson. They both finished in the points. I mean, they have just looked like they're running with the big dogs. You know, they're battling with not just Audi and Alpine and Haas. They're up there battling sometimes with, I mean, Max and Lewis had to get around the Racing Bulls.
That's true.
Right? So you take all that, given that they're the Red Bull junior team, right? Again, we talk about Lawson last year, Hadjar last year. You couldn't really, even if from a fantasy perspective, you didn't really want Racing Bulls on your team.
Right.
Many people in our league have had Racing Bulls on their team the entire season. I think they've been looking great. I think they're just going to continuously improve. And I predict that they finish P5 in the constructors. I think they are definitely best of the rest. And given that they are not one of the big 4, to me, that's impressive, deserving of team of the year.
All right. Now I can give you that one. I am one of the people who has Racing Bulls on my fantasy team and has all year.
I was too until last race.
Yep.
I had them consistently, mainly for cost cap reasons, because I wouldn't have, although I wasn't unhappy having them, because it wasn't one of those like, oh man, if I had just had whatever, I was able to make some changes financially in my team and get some 2 tier A constructors. But yeah, I've had Racing Bulls all year, and for the most part, been very happy with their performance, both on the track and digitally in my fantasy team. So,
Okay.
yeah. I love that. I mean, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories. We only totally agreed on 1.
Was it just one?
I think so. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, me neither. Best overtake. Max
Okay.
in Hungary.
It was that was it.
We had our own
That's great.
thoughts and opinions. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about any of these categories. Please comment. Let us know what you think. And if you have a friend that's into this stuff, share the episode with them. And we'd love to hear what they think too. We're at 39 subscribers now.
All right.
Still making that push for 100 by the end of the season. It'd be nice to get up in the mid to upper 40s by the end of the summer break, if you can help us out with that.
That way we're sort of like halfway there.
Yeah, halfway through the season, halfway to our goal. If we can, 50 would be amazing. If you know somebody, send this their way, please. We thank you very much. And we got our summer break series kicked off here now with the mid-season awards, but this is episode 1 because it can't be a series with only 1 episode. So I hope it's not episode 1 of 1. We'll get you something else here. I'd love to spend some time talking about the new race that's getting added. Maybe we can spend some time chatting about that a little bit, and why in the world did they choose Sepang to replace Bahrain of all the other circuits that are potentially out there. Come back here when you get the notification that we've posted it, and check out our thoughts on the new Bahrain. I don't even know what the name of it is. It's the Gulf Air Bahrain GP at Sepang or something along those lines. Yeah. I had fun.
Yes. This was enjoyable.
It was. And I love that we didn't talk ahead of time so we could have I don't know if I call them debates, but.
No, they weren't debates. I agreed with your selection.
Sure. Same for the most part.
I would not have a counter argument. I don't think. I think they were good ideas, and but it was nice to have the surprise.
Yeah. Biggest surprise, our mid-season awards choices. All right. I think that's all I got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode. Remember, when the lights go out,